I mentioned before that this is where the intricate part's going to happen. So I dry fitted this together and it seems to fit in just fine. That's great, everything is fairly flush and so forth. But now I need to put a groove in for the bottom. Now normally we would just use a bit like this and just cut a groove through both and put it all together like a drawer. Except in this case, if I drill all the way through this end and pop out the end, when I put it together, I'll be able to see that groove here on the end. So what we need to do is called a stop dado. So we're going to drill the groove here, but stop about 1/4 of an inch from the end or so, give or take. But we'll stick with 1/4 inch. We're going to do the same on this side. Now to do that, we're going to put the correct bit in. We lay this down. We put the fence in. We're going to lay it down on top, go all the way until we hit the next part and raise it back off again. This is a technique that a lot of you haven't done before, and that's okay. Now this one, it doesn't matter. It's going to go right through this groove. We're going to go in one side and out the other, and the dovetail joint hides that. So this doesn't matter. So for now, I'm just going to lay that aside. So this is the intricate part, so pay attention as best you can. First, we're going to get the height of this blade. So I already put the 1/4 inch bit in. This is a 1/4 straight bit. Just take a piece of 1/4 inch anything. This is what I'm going to use for my bottom. I pulled this out of the trash. Just set it on its side. Grab this and just start lowering it down. Now remember, we always want to raise the bit to what we want. So I'm lowering it lower than this and then raise it back up. If anything, I prefer the bit to be proud, to be higher than this, just a hair. We're talking about a 64th, a 32nd of an inch, somewhere in there. So I can just feel that bit. Okay, height is good. So I don't need to worry about this anymore. Now this fence should just slide. If it doesn't, there's a lock back here that you just need to open it up. However, I've got the problem here that I need to draw some kind of line that I can see. So when I start, I put it to a line and lay it down, and I know where that line is. There's not much here, and this is aluminum, and it's hard to see anything. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap. This, again, is that white melamine, and just set it right there. Take some clamps, and just clamp it down like that. That will allow me to lay it down, go across, lift it up, and I'm done. And I can actually see what I'm doing. So we're going to get this fairly close. So what I need to do is I'm going to take this board, and I want that groove to be dead center on that, right in the middle. So it kind of does that. And that comes out. So I need to just eyeball it. I put it down, and I just play with this a little bit, nudge it left, right, whatever. And then lock it and see if that locked into the right place. Looks like I need to go that way just a little farther. So I'm going to unlock it half and turn this knob here. This is a fine adjustment. Just got to remember which way you're going. There we go. Right there. Lock it down. Okay, so this is all fine adjusted. If you're a hair off, that's okay. It can be a little bit high or low. But obviously, if I have it set to cut off the bottom of this, you're going to see that. I mean, it's going to come out here and it won't look quite right. So be careful that it's as close to the center of that dovetail as you can get. Okay, so that part's correct. Now I need a line to know where to drop this down. Where can I put this down at 1/4 of an inch? So I'm going to measure that. I put this up to the blade. Just touch. I don't want to whack into it. You might crack it. And then from this side, I'm going to go in 1/4 of an inch, right about there. So I'm eyeballing down these dovetails to the 1/4 inch mark right here. And I'm just going to put a mark here. And the reason I'm putting it here and not out here is because I can actually see that's where it goes. Then flip it over and do exactly the same thing on the other side. Lightly touch. And I'm going to bring that to 1/4 of an inch. I'm eyeballing that down right there. So this will be start, finish. So I know where to start and I know where to finish. So make sure when you're about to do this that you're cutting on the wider side of the dovetail. This wide part is down. Same on the other one. Wide part is down. So here we go. And with such a small bit, I know you're probably freaking out. You've never dropped it on a bit. With such a small bit, that the pull that it's going to have is very small. Hold it there. start. I needed to back it up just a hair, so be careful. Go to finish, and lift it off. And there we go. Right in the middle. Now you can see that even mine wasn't perfectly centered. That's okay. That's all right. Big side down. Start here. Finish. And lift it out. Same thing. Looks good. These boards, doesn't matter which way and doesn't matter which side. I like this side because it's got a little more figure, so I'm going to just go across. If everything goes well, it should pass right out without clipping either one of those. Now do your other board and then we can make the bottom.